I'm making this video because I couldn't really find anything about my car online or any of my symptoms I had. It's a 2008 Chrysler Sebring, and for a while now I haven't had any heat in it. Now when I was driving it, about 20 miles into driving or so, I would get a little bit of heat when I turned on the vent for about 5 seconds, and then it would go away. So I figured maybe the blend door was stuck shut and it just wasn't letting heat into the car, and it would just like miss a little bit of heat through the blend door through a crack or something because the plastic doesn't seal tight. But that wasn't the problem with this car, or at least I'm pretty sure it's not as of now. I didn't find any videos online that were helpful in finding the location of this blend door on here, so I did some investigation for myself and tore some stuff apart, and ended up figuring out where these locations are. I unnecessarily tore the clock out and the radio cover with one of the vents that didn't need to be done at all, and wasn't the location of it. But like I said, I couldn't find anything online for this particular model of car. A lot of stuff on there for vans and things, but not this car particularly. Where I ended up finding it was underneath the car. I'll get my flashlight so you can see. But this one right here for the blend door for the temperature control is up in here. I don't know how you're going to see this, but it's right there, that lever. And as you control the knob, you can see the lever move. It's not a very rapid movement, and it's not very loud either, but it is functioning. And to my knowledge, the blend door mechanism is not broken, because now that I've worked on this car, I do have heat. So that's where this is up in here. All you really have to do is take out a little air duct here. It's got 2 plastic pins in it, and you can get access to that pretty easily. Not that bad. Just finding it's the problem. And for the other side there, I thought this might have been the problem. I think it's a blend door actuator. I'm no Chrysler mechanic. But that's up in here. You just take out the glove box and you pretty much have access to this. It's right there. I don't know if you can see it. But when I move the lever here in a second, you will hopefully be able to see it move. It does function. This is what I thought was my problem initially, but it was not the problem. Right there. So when I change from defrost to floor heat to dash heat, it does move. So here's it moving. Your actuator motor is probably bad. Not that bad to replace, and they're not outrageously expensive, but I read on some of the forums that the heater cores can get clogged on these cars, which I think it's right there. But so I was getting a little bit of heat, so I decided to flush the heater core out, and I didn't want to flush the whole system because this is a 2.7, and if it was anything like my last one, it was very sensitive to tampering with the water pump or the fluids in any sense or fashion. So, first thing underneath the hood that concerned me when I looked underneath the car was I bought this used, and I don't know if you can see the label or not, but yeah, you can see it. Chameleon inside, so it had been flushed with has been flushed in its lifetime. The car has I think 87,000 miles on it, somewhere's around there. 2008, so it's got a lot of miles for a year. But right down here, you can see this hose. This is let me get my flashlight so you can see it better. It's right below the brake lines here. Alright, right there where the flashlight is, where that new hose clamp is. That hose right there, that's where I drain it from the heater core, because it runs right on over to the heater core inlet, which is over right there. Right there. Those clamps I didn't want to touch over here. They are rusty, and I figure if I tamper with them, and they're not in a convenient location, so I figure it's best to leave those alone until I do have a problem. They're right behind the intake, you'll see them. And then to fill it and purge it, I took off right down there. You can see the new clamp on that one. To get that off, I took off this one here, and just got access to it after I drained this one, because this way there's no fluid up in this bleeder valve here. So I took that off, and I put a barb fitting in it with a hose end, a female hose end on it with a male barb end, and hooked the hose up to it and flushed it out real quick, and put some more antifreeze in it, and put antifreeze in here, let it run the heater on, and then you bleed it with this bleeder valve here, and I'll cycle the antifreeze through it. And I did have a little bit more heat actually when I was driving, not a lot more heat, but if I was driving at 2,000 RPMs or above, I would have heat the whole entire time, which I did not have before. And I flushed it again, so now I have heat above 1,000 RPMs, no problem. But it's still not quite right, so I'm thinking the heater core is probably bad, and I'll have to replace that. But if I don't, I'll post something on the video there. But if I do, I'll let you guys know.